Welcome back to the program. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television, and of course on the program today we're taking a look at childhood cancer. What exactly is this kind of disease? Is there any part of the body exempted from cancer, especially when you're talking about children? And of course, what is the role of early detection of this particular disease? And of course, when it is found out, how can it be managed? All of these we intend to find answers to on the program today. I am being joined by the Nursing Service Manager at the NSI Louth Cancer Center. She's also a pediatric cancer advocate with the Doctors Cancer Foundation. Join me this morning as I welcome Belonda Michu Mangongolo. Thank you for being on the program today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Belonda is a South African and she's been in Nigeria for 5 years. How's it been since you got to Nigeria?
It has been very good. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thanks. Yeah.
Nigerians are very pleasant people?
Very
pleasant.
pleasant.
Very pleasant.
Very friendly.
Okay. Siambonga. I just said thank you to you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's start the conversation this way. When we talk about childhood cancer with children, is there a particular age that this kind of cancer can affect children, or is it something that we can't explain?
Yes, thank you very much for this wonderful question, and thanks a lot for having me here. Cancer in children, there's really no age. We can start as from 2 years old up to 18, 19. Okay. We can talk about cancer in children.
Okay, so there is no age restriction
no.
at all. Is there any part of the body that is exempted from being cancerous?
No. You know, everything that you have got in the body, in children as in adult, is being formed with cells. It's a cycle. It's like those are new cells. They have to divide and multiply themselves. They need to get old and die, leave the place to new cells to continue. But these old cells, instead of dying, they refuse to die. They form the kind of their own government and they begin to damage the body. It can start anywhere in the body. We've got cancer in the blood, cancer on the skin, cancer everywhere. So yeah, the solid tumor and in the blood.
Okay, but I understand the nails. Can the nails also?
Because everything is being made by the cells.
Right. So there's a possibility as well. All right. So when are there things to look out for in children that may predispose them from having cancer, any kind of cancer at all?
You cannot prevent cancer, just as we say there's no cause for cancer. We can have risk factors. This is in adult. Okay. But in children, you can't.
Yeah. So it makes it more difficult then, so in children. So peradventure, let's talk about, are we also able to break down, since practically every part of the body can be cancerous, are there some kind of cancers that are predominant in children?
Yes.
Okay, you'd like to mention?
Like in Nigeria, we see the leukemias. Leukemia is the type of cancer that you see in the blood. We have got the cancer that you see in the kidneys that we call the worm tumors. We also have the retinoblastoma, cancer in the eye. Those are the ones you can see them in Nigeria. Okay,
those ones are prevalent in children here in Nigeria. Because you mentioned leukemia first, let's talk about leukemia, cancer of the blood. Can you break that down? It is also a cancer of the cells, the white blood cells, the red blood cells. So what exactly is leukemia?
Yes, leukemia is the cancer that you find in the blood, and as signs and symptoms, you can just see this kid, because we are talking about children, you see that the kid is maybe having infection, there's fever, because that's the first sign in parent. When you see the child didn't sleep because of fever, you take the kid to the hospital. When they do investigation, they can say, okay, maybe it's infection. So that the repetition of that infection, and when we say infection, you check, you see it in the blood result, full blood count. When you see that the white cells are maybe very high, and the platelets are dropping, and there are probabilities for the bleeding. And then you can see bruising or bleeding, or this kid is getting tired.
Right.
Yeah, so that can be a sign. So when they go for the deep investigation, they can find that there's leukemia. Pediatrician. So you have to take the kid to the pediatrician.
Right, because again, that's one of the areas that you specialize in, pediatrics. And so when you realize that this is a problem, we've also had issues with misdiagnosis of these kind of, especially leukemia, where it is not picked up early. How dangerous can this be when it is not picked up early?
Yes, that's why we begin to speak about the late stage, of advanced stage, because of lack of early diagnosis. And this is due to lack of information and awareness. So people have got so little information. The parent, everyone should be the doctor at home, a parent, and so you should be able to pick up very early that this kid is not like this normally. When they come from school, they like to play. Know your children.
Right.
If you know how they behave, and the moment you begin to see changes, the kid is just tired, kid is just sleeping, doesn't want to play. And you know, yes, then you have to take this kid to the hospital. They treat, as I said, for the first time, second time, third time. No, if the thing is still there, go take this kid for second opinion to the pediatrician. Let them go and do further diagnosis. They might find. The thing is the awareness. This is a big barrier that you want to fight. It's a big, though we don't have information. Or we have got the information and we have got a misconception of the cancer and even of the treatment. Yeah. So lack of that is going to lead you to the pinpointing the problem.
Right, so we've talked about early detection. Can we also, you've talked about especially for parents to be self-aware of their children, know your child, so in case there's something going on, you're the first person to notice that. And so you've talked about fatigue, you've talked about perhaps the child not playing properly. Can we also talk about some kind of swellings or lumps that you may also notice around your child? When that happens, what should you do?
Good question. In Africa, if I can say, we don't want to go, if I see a lump somewhere, maybe it's just a lump, it's going to disappear. We don't want to take that kid to the hospital. But we also do not want the parent to start touching the children to go and look for the lump. So yeah, but when you notice the lump, it means there's a problem. It is an alarm or a red flag. So take that kid to the hospital. And children, they need to go and see the pediatrician. There's no need for you to go to take this kid to the physician or to the primary nurse, because they will all treat malaria.
So you just need to take the child to a child doctor who knows the right things to look out for. But then I'm just going, this is going to be a general question, not only in Nigerian thing, but an African thing generally. Is there an improvement in how we want our children to see the pediatrician? Because again, some will say, let my child see a general practitioner, a GP, and not somebody who's specialized in the care of children. Is there a better awareness on this?
Yes, and we will never stop giving information or spreading the awareness. We'll talk until tomorrow. We still want to emphasize on that. Every year, September, we'll come and we want everyone to inspire up. There are improvement, lot of improvement. And we can even see, even in terms of survival rate and quality of life, better outcome, we are coming.
So navigating this journey, this cancer journey, a lot of people also see it as a death sentence. Once you get diagnosed with cancer, especially for a child, it can be devastating, it can be traumatic. But does that mean that that child will die?
They don't need to die. The reason why we are here is to stand and refuse that children should die from cancer. If we get the awareness, we get educated, we send that child to the hospital early detection. They are dying because they're coming to the hospital very late.
Okay.
Or when, or upon arrival, when they diagnose and they say this kid has got cancer, maybe because of financial toxicity, parents are limited to care to the hospital, and also the access to care. Do they have access to care or to specialized oncology services? All those are the things that we need to look at and fight. And also, do we have many, let's say, pediatric oncology centers?
Okay.
So all those are the things that we need to stand in the gap and advocate. If we have got that one, we will have the better outcome, indeed.
Funding is big. You mentioned it now, but let's also discuss about funding. I mean, getting regular medication can be tiring, and then you talk about treatment for cancer. It's also very overwhelming on the parents, especially the mothers, who will be there with that child for days and weeks. And so, support system, how big is the support system, either from family, from the community, from friends? How much of families or of support do we really need when we talk about parents dealing with a child with cancer?
This is what we are also doing with childhood cancer, with Dorcas Cancer Foundation. We want to stand together with that family or that mother for emotional support. Is very, very important, because that journey is a very difficult journey. So you don't need to stand alone. We are there, want to give you that support. And every hospital where you are taking your children or your child, there's a social worker.
Okay.
That's what those ones, they also stand for emotional support. Even financially, as we said, we want it to become a policy. Not only saying we're doing it in our hospital, they're doing it, or these ones are not doing it.
It has to be bigger.
So yeah, it needs to be a policy that a kid or a mother need to be supported. You're not supporting only the child, you support the family indeed. Because when the kid is sick, the whole family is sick, even in adult. If someone is sick in the house, the whole family is sick, because it's going to have a negative impact on the emotional life of the family, social life of the family, financial life of the family. So the support needs to be strong.
So for a child that has been diagnosed with cancer, you just said moments ago that it is not a death sentence. That child can get treatment and get well, and of course be incorporated in the society back again. But as a child who is dealing with some cancer issues, how do they also we also have issues around stigmatization. We have issues around low self-esteem. So how do we ensure that these children do not suffer stigmatization or do not lose hope of life as they're dealing with this situation?
People are suffering from stigma is because they don't open up. They want to struggle with the condition alone.
Okay.
There's this cultural belief that if they know that you've got cancer, everybody's going to reject you, which is not. So if opening up is going to help you, is going to allow even people to stand with you and to reintegrate that child, even to go back to school, to the society. You have to have that strong belief that everything is going to, it is not a death sentence. Let it just being diagnosed early, and we give prompt treatment, everything shall be well. Yes, indeed, people will suffer even when you finish with the treatment. That fear of saying cancer might come back, and I cannot adjust myself to the society again or anymore. No, because this is what we talk about support group. Yeah, because if you are part of that support group, everyone is discussing about their problem, what they went through. Okay, this has been a good experience for that one, so I can also borrow it and stand.
So
remain positive and remain bold and keep your head up.
Let's talk about where we are now as a country. You've been here 5 years, and I know that year in, year out, there have been innovations, there have been researches, taking a deeper look into childhood cancer. How would you say researchers have gone in, again, finding out, some of those things that could better the lot of children living with cancer? Are we making improvement in that regard?
we are working hard. There's a significant improvement on the survival rate and the quality of life in the family, because yes, we have got advanced medical research and treatment.
Okay.
Yes, that is working. Things like personalized treatment. So you are treating that child as a unique person.
Okay.
You don't say because all of them have got cancer, you need to
model them together.
So personalize that treatment, get proper information around the disease of that kid, and come up with a accurate diagnosis.
Okay.
Give a prompt treatment. You are going to win. And we have got also, in terms of advancement and good improvement, what we call immunotherapy. So immunotherapy is very, very good, because what we call a mechanism of action is blocking the harmful mutation in those bad cells and blocking the cancer cells from growing until they die without even affecting the good cells.
Okay.
And we also have got a combined treatment or multi-modality therapy that is also very good. And with all this, the outcome is very good. We are not yet there, but we are coming. Because it's just a matter of us to stand and recommit to this, all of us. We are going to get it.
Right. So again, we do know that I'm still going to come back to the support system, because I know that that's one area that a lot of people are also scared about, and not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do. And so peradventure there's anyone watching this morning and the person has issues or the fear of not wanting to approach the hospital because a child is sick, and you don't even want to hear that this is cancerous or this is a cancer that we're dealing with. What would be your charge to such a person this morning? Because you've talked about early detection, you've talked about the fact that it's best to seek medical help. And so, but then some will still say, I don't have the finances. I cannot take, the burden is just too much for me. Is this a way, is this something that should keep you from having access to medical care?
Kind of yes and kind of no at the same time. This is what I'm saying. You have to open up, step up. Don't remain in your own closet. You don't speak about what is going on. If you just open, as I said, just go to that even primary health care cote. There will be somebody who's going to orientate you to where you're supposed to do, to the correct place. And when you belong to a support group, even because the found there's been a problem or a challenge, or it will never be enough. So when we talk about money, that's what we say, financial toxicity. So you can, cancer treatment are very expensive everywhere in the world. It's not only in Nigeria, everywhere in the world. So what you will also want to advocate is the health insurance, if it can be established. So nobody should stay at home or behind.
Let's talk about some of the specialized treatment. You talked about some a while ago, but we do know that big up on cancer care. I don't know if that also happens with children. Some are made to go through chemotherapy, some are made to go through radiation. Can you please break this down? Are these also, do they also affect children? Do they also need to go through some of those treatment? Thank you for the wonderful question. This is what I say, the combined treatment or multi-modality therapy. It means we've got the surgeon doctor might come in to remove the tumor from the place where it's sitting. That treatment is a treatment, but it's local treatment. Right. And the radiation therapy people will also need to come to that same place and burn it. Burn the place, and because cancer, there are probabilities for the cancer to come back after being treated. So they make sure and burn that place where the tumor was sitting. Then the third one is the systemic therapy. So in this, when we talk about systemic therapy, that's where we have got chemotherapy, immunotherapy, and endocrine therapy. So those ones are part of the systemic therapy, because this one, as I said, the cancer, when they are old, they refuse to die, they begin to damage the body, they're very quick to multiply themselves, and they're very quick to divide themselves, and they invade to different places. So from one place, they move to this, they move this, what we call metastasis. So now, this one will go for the surgery, maybe
some cells they've already gone to other places, and the radiation therapy will come and burn the place. If there are leakage already before, so they will go and begin to start another stubborn government there and destroy the body. That way we bring in systemic therapy, because this one you put it, you send it in the blood. It can be via peripheral line, the drip. It can be in the form of tablet. So when they get into the system, they will have to go and do, even if they will leakage or metastasis, so they should be able, because the blood is circulating to body. Everywhere and find those blood cells wherever they are.
Okay, so because there are so many kind of cancers, and so it means that it's not one treatment for every kind of cancer, or is there
different.
Right? So depending on the kind of cancer you've come up with, then it will depend on the kind of treatment that you will get. For breast cancer, I know that usually will not be common in a child. That probably will be common in perhaps adolescent, because at that time you're already materializing your breast and all of that. So that probably is not one kind of cancer that children may have. But of course, you talked about the fact that they may reoccur. And you might be lucky once treatment is done, you might just be fine. So if you've been treated or you're undergoing treatment, are there things that you need to, the kind of lifestyle that you must live to deter a reoccurrence?
Yes. So, when we finish treating them, thank you for that wonderful question. After treatment and when we go for a re-evaluation in terms of scanning, in terms of pathology, all those histology we want to check again, and everything is fine. So we call it a remission. You can be in your remission for so many years, even up to 10 years.
Your remission, it can be up to 10 years for your remission stage?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is why it is important to diagnose early. Early detection, accurate diagnosis, prompt treatment, you win the battle. You bring that child or that person into remission for long term. But then when you're in your remission, you have to go for your checkup all the time, because they can give you a follow-up appointment of every 3 months, every 6 months, or every year. You need to go and see your doctor.
You must not miss your appointment.
Don't miss your appointment. There's no need for you to miss the appointment. Just come. If they say you have to bring this, take this form, when you're coming, bring the scan result or whichever pathology request doctor is going to send you to do. So when you're coming the next time, just come with.
Just come with that. Okay.
Respect the appointment.
Okay. In some of the treatment needed, you talked about. Can we also talk about surgery? I know you mentioned it in passing. So, is there are there challenges with children who've been diagnosed with cancer and their surgical experience? Have there been challenges with that kind of treatment? No. And children respond very well to treatment. Okay. So it's the experience is usually good with children. Is usually right. So, but then some will also think that with the level of high radiation and all of that, are children also capable of withstanding the radiation they hit? They respond very well. They don't suffer too much of a side effect or reaction to treatment. If it might be there, but they are kind of overcoming it more than in adult people. If you see, the only thing it can be when you just go for your checkup. Let's say they check the blood result. It can affect the marrow, because everything is being created by the cell. Made by the cells, and everything is in the marrow, bone marrow. So that radiotherapy or let's say chemotherapy, not even surgery, those are the ones that can suppress your bone marrow. And then the defense system might be a little bit low. So, but when you go for a checkup, because you cannot go for the next session, you didn't check the blood result. Everything you cannot see it with your eyes, but you can only see it on paper. Right. So at the moment where we are in Nigeria, is there any childhood cancer that is a challenge for us to treat here that may require that child to travel abroad? No. We have got everything in Nigeria now. Everything now? Yes. Okay. At the NSIA? So, yes. Okay. We treat children and the outcome is good.
Just bring them early.
So why do people still want to go outside the shores of Nigeria to get
awareness or lack of information?
Lack of information.
This is the reason why we are all here in this month of September.
Right.
It's a Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So all of us, let's spread the awareness. Let's inspire the hope. Let's speak about it. Wherever you are, in church, in the market, in the office, what are we doing about childhood cancer?
Right.
So everybody should speak about, be the advocate everywhere where you are.
Right.
You see that, yeah.
Okay, before we continue, I know that I would probably be one of your advocates. I have my badge here. So you will do me the honors, and I'm just going to come close to you. So you will do, so since we're talking about this, I'll probably take the message out from the station and continue to talk about childhood cancer. But then as we do this, you've talked about the facts that, let me come closer to you. So do we also have women or parents or family members that have come and sought treatments from your facility and are now better advocates for what you do?
They should. Everybody should be. Let's say you have come to our center. For instance, in my center, the place where I work, there's discount for when it comes to the children.
Oh,
there's a 50%, 50% discount on the treatment for the children.
Wow.
So if my child, for instance, has been treated in your center and the outcome is good, I should be the one to go and advocate. I should be the one to go and speak about. I should be the one to go and, yes.
Okay. All right, but then are there challenges or are there things that you wish that Nigerians knew about childhood cancer that, you know, are probably some kind of hindrances now that a lot of people are not seeking the attention? The funding is an issue and a lot of people still think we cannot afford it. And so is there an opportunity for people to spread payment when treating cancer, or is this something that you know, the burden for the parents, how much of a burden is the funding for the treatment? Because again, it's specialized treatment, it's not a one-off treatment. It could take years of treatment, and depending on the kind of cancer, it could also be one that could be a burden on the family.
It is indeed a burden in the family because of the cost everywhere in the world, talk less of Nigeria. So what we just say, if medical insurance can be established, this will solve the problem. Then parents do not need to suffer for that. There's, you know, financial constraint. So because they will know that the government is in charge of it, it's going to support the treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you also advocating for more cancer centers across the country? Because we know that the one we have here in Lagos, of course, at some point in time could also be burdened with the number of cases at hand. And so are you advocating for the setting up of more cancer centers in Nigeria?
We are advocating. Let me list what I want.
Okay, go ahead.
Nigeria to do. Number one, access to care is important. For everyone.
Okay.
Because Nigeria is big. We have got 1 or 2 centers in Lagos. How about those ones that are staying out of town?
Right.
How are they going to have access to care? Right. So if we've got more, then everyone should be able to have the access to care and specialized oncology services. Okay. Yes. And more professional. Health professionals. So we also need many. We see some of them want to go and work outside, which is not bad. But
like you are working in Nigeria here.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we can have more, and we're going to be good. Right. We will improve the outcome of in this condition, and the survival rate is going to be very, very high. Quality of life, 100%.
Right. So two things you've mentioned here. You're advocating for more centers in Nigeria, and of course advocating for better healthcare services.
Yes.
You'd also can we also quickly, because I know that's what DOCAS also does, advocacy, especially the month of September. Are we also looking to more philanthropists donating for the cause of cancer?
This is what I was saying. If the invitation is for everyone, okay, you can just say, if somebody, because we all need to be advocate. Then when you hear what I'm saying, you can say there's a need. there's something I should do.
Okay.
Because the Docas Cancer Foundation works together with other organizations where they raise their funds, because somebody can just say, you know, out of our income, on a monthly income, we can give 1% or 2%.
It's not because it's for children.
For the children.
Right.
Yeah. It's not impossible. It's just a matter of what do you want to do, because we need to fight for the cancer-free future.
Right. Okay, cancer-free future is what you're looking out for. Before we allow you go, this morning, we also understand that there are clinical trials from time to time. Is this also one thing that is done in Nigeria? Do we also have clinical trials?
Started, yes, we have started.
What the success rate of the clinical trials?
It's coming, it's very, very good.
It's very good.
It's very good, yes.
Okay.
And we just want it to be established and approved.
Okay. All right. I would have to leave this conversation here this morning. And of course, the fact that here we've talked about childhood cancer diseases and how we all can be part of the change. And of course, in the studio this morning, we've had Belonda Michu Mangongolo, Nursing Service Manager, NSI Youth Cancer Center, and Pediatric Center Advocate for the Docas Cancer Foundation. Many thanks for being here on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
The very best.
Thank you so much.
All right, advocacy is key, and such is awareness. If you know something, tell others about it. The month of September is a month where awareness has been raised for many medical conditions, such that we've just finished talking about. Also, the month of September is an awareness month for sickle cell management. And of course, Joy on the other side will take a look at that particular situation with some other practitioners that are also advocates in that sector. We'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, it'll be the turn of Joy and her guests to take you through their conversation.